Hey, nerdy sports fan, we're talking divisional round of the NFL playoffs, and we're getting into the Texans, who just ruined the hopes of my hometown Buffalo Bills last week. They're paying a visit to the Kansas City Chiefs, who, man, at the end of the season just looked like a buzzsaw. So the Texans have a really tall order in front of them here. They've not been an extremely consistent team. They have the talent to match up with anybody. Okay, this team has beaten the Patriots. I want to say they beat the Chiefs earlier this year. They just beat the Bills last week. They've won quality games, but they've also tripped all over themselves and lost games that they never should have dropped. I mean, the Broncos beat them. The Broncos. Anyways, so the Texans are a bit of an enigma. They get a big boost with J.J. Watt coming back, and coming back in a way that he can actually contribute. That's nuts. The guy was out for, 8 weeks? With a pectoral tear. Like, that's an injury that normally kills a season and a half for some players. 8 weeks. And he made a huge impact last week. And he can this week. J.J. Watt against the Chiefs' offensive line is advantage J.J. Watt. So I think the Texans have something there. But the Chiefs have something that they can say the same. Frank Clark and that Chiefs defensive front is far better late in the season than they were earlier in the season. And the Texans' offensive line is crap. What do they give up? 8 sacks, 7 sacks to the Bills? And the Bills don't get after the quarterback extremely well. They do have a very good defense, but it's built mostly off of coverage and not giving up the big play. They're not a team that nails the quarterback to the turf. So now a Spagnuolo coach defensive front with Frank Clark going up against this offensive line, Deshaun Watson might get hurt. Like, he is going to be hit so much in these playoffs, he might get hurt. So last week he got a beating. That's going to continue. I expect the Chiefs defensive front to really get after Deshaun Watson. Now the Texans defensive front is going to get after Pat Mahomes, but I just think that's going to be advantage Chiefs. Pressure on the quarterback is going to favor the Chiefs more than it does the Texans. The issue is, Deshaun Watson worked extremely, extremely well outside of the pocket, and he's got some of the best receivers in the game. Will Fuller might come back this game. It was a maybe for last week. He didn't. Will Fuller comes back. That's a huge game changer. That's a take the top off the defense kind of guy on the caliber of Tyreek Hill and Mecole Hardman for the Chiefs. So that changes so much underneath if Fuller plays. That's what I think this whole game hinges on. Fuller coming back healthy enough to have the kind of impact that J.J. Watt coming back last week had. If Fuller is in the lineup, this offense is so very different and nothing that the Chiefs have had to deal with. And I truly believe the Texans can win. If Fuller is not healthy and does not return, the Texans just don't have enough juice. And the Chiefs will dominate. Now, Fuller being healthy doesn't guarantee. It's not one-sided, okay? Fuller being healthy means they're competitive with the Chiefs. And then it's just, does Andy Reid's playoff and postseason stuff rear its ugly head? And if you keep a game close enough against Andy Reid, it probably will. That guy's just got some ghosts that he's dealing with in the postseason. If he has to coach a very competitive, high-scoring affair game, he might choke. It's just the track record that you're dealing with right now from the Chiefs' perspective. The guy's lost home playoff games there. He's yet to be to an AFC championship game in spite of very talented rosters. He hasn't duplicated the full extent of the magic that he had with the Eagles when he was bringing them to NFC championship game after NFC championship game. And the best he could say with the Eagles was he went to the Super Bowl. He didn't win it. So there's a lot of ghosts in the closet of Mr. Reed that you have to deal with. So if the Texans can make this game close, those questions, those little dark thoughts in the back of your head, that's going to come up. And Reed better have an answer. Reed better be able to shake this monkey off his back. Because people will be questioning it if he doesn't. The Chiefs have everything to lose in this game. There's a huge amount of pressure on the Chiefs to win this game in convincing fashion and move on. Andy Reid's playoff performance is one of them. Is Pat Mahomes a generational, constant Super Bowl winning quarterback kind of guy? He's got to take that step. Was Spagnuolo the right hire for the defense? We got to see. The end of the season says yes, but we haven't seen it in the postseason when the games really matter yet. So, we'll see. There's questions on both teams' sides. I'm worried about the Chiefs, but they are suited to really dominate this game. They have people getting healthy at the right time. They have a great quarterback. They have a great offensive mind for a head coach. Their defense has picked up at the end of the season. This is the Chiefs' game to lose. They have every single reason to win this game. But it's going to be closer than a lot of people think. Personally, I, again, can't state enough, I think this game hinges on Will Fuller. Will Fuller plays, it's going to be a very, very, very tight game. Will Fuller remains on the bench. Advantage Chiefs, horribly one-sided game. He means that much to the offense of the Texans. So, that 10-point line that Vegas has in favor of the Chiefs, I think is crap. I think it's likely to be closer. So I would bet the Texans. But I do think the Chiefs win this game and advance and start to rewrite that narrative about Andy Reid in the playoffs there in Kansas City. That's what I have for this game, guys. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Hit up the rest of the videos for more pregame for the playoffs. And check out the Nerdy Sports Fan Weekly. I dive into the coaching hires that have happened this week. Thanks, guys.